Hi everyone, this is Dr. Elsa, and I just wanted to share with you a piece that I had written last month in September during Suicide Prevention Month, and I've linked it in the description below. On October 8th, I went to Busboys and Poets to share that at open mic. And before sharing the performance with you, I just wanted to give you a little context. I just remember coming back that night in extreme pain and waking up the morning with extreme pain as well. I think it was the pain, the usual sort of like struggle with, sharing your vulnerable experience with suicidality, the shame, the guilt. It's never easy to share things like that. I definitely wanted to sort of share that, especially in light of my 10th year walking and participating in suicide prevention through the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I'll be walking on Saturday in the community walk for suicide prevention in Washington, D.C. And I remember walking off the stage, looking around and getting like sort of a feeling of sort of judgment or shock from people. And then I sat down, and a gentleman that initially introduced himself before the event as Will, who sat at my table, he leaned over to me and he said, "Thank you." He said that he just came out of rehab a month before and from suicide attempt, and that he really appreciated the piece. And that itself reminded me of why I do this. He was going to share a song. He had his guitar and he was going to share a song about that experience of surviving a suicide attempt. I didn't stay for that, unfortunately. I was just feeling so much. I felt like I really needed to go home after sharing what I experienced, so I couldn't stay for his performance. That moment of him telling me that reminded me of why I share my story. Even if it impacts one person, even if it, helps anyone, even just a little bit, even just for a moment, it's worth it. Today, I attended a session with Society for International Development. It was a mental health matters session, and I was enlightened by a lot of the different activities that a lot of international organizations, particularly USAID and other organizations, have been doing around the world for global mental health issues. Suicide is a leading cause of death for young people around the world. Suicide is still criminalized among 23 countries. Reducing suicide mortality is also a key goal for the 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And there's so little data about suicide in low-income countries. There was one comment made by someone that I thought was really on point, how when it comes to mental health, there is no such thing as a developing country. This does not discriminate across geography. And it reminds us not to engage in that harmful stigma of comparison of struggles. Mental health affects physical health. And a study has revealed that every dollar that you invest in mental health has a return of investment of $24. It's so important to continue to embrace these conversations on mental health. So in any case, I just wanted to share with you this piece. One other thing that I note in my introduction for this piece on that day is that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., someone who we all been thinking about, especially nowadays, a revolutionary, he struggled with suicidality. He struggled with depression and mental health challenges. A lot of people who've studied his life have noted his suicide attempts when he was a teenager. It is presumed that he did not disclose his challenges during the civil rights movement because his opponents would use it against him. That's a very unfortunate reality that I think exists today. But part of the reason why I share is to combat that stigma, that very stigma. Just talking about this is combating stigma. I'm not someone who really believes in safe spaces. And one of the reasons why I share this with you, I think it's also so important to honor the most authentic and vulnerable moments, even if we have suppressed them, to combat the stigma, but also to make sure that we're not leaving anyone behind, including ourselves. It's important to know what you are experiencing, what your brain is going through in that moment when you're in that crisis moment. And sharing that, revealing that vulnerability, is part of defeating that stigma. So as I continue to sort of work on this at a macro level and study this at a large level in global mental health awareness and prevention around the world, I'd like to make sure that we connected at the micro level as well. And that's why I continue to share my story. I hope that you stick around and listen to the poem. Let me know what you think about the piece and what I've shared with you today in the comments. Thank you so much. Let's continue to embrace the transformative power of these difficult conversations.
Busboys and poets, please give a warm, hearty welcome for Dr. Elsa.
I was last on this stage actually in July when I turned 40, and being the dork that I am, I did a speech about turning 40, and in that speech I talked about being a suicide survivor and how I didn't think that I'd make it to 40 and I made it. And I'll be walking in the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's DC Walk for the 10th year in a row on the 19th in October, so 10 years. Actually had to hide his suicidality and suicide attempts so that his opponents wouldn't use it against him in the civil rights movement. And I don't think that we should do that in 2024. So to combat the stigma, I'd like to share with you a piece that I wrote. This is the second of my suicide note series, and it's called I Tried to Tell You, a Suicide Note. Trigger warning. We have to give those, don't we? The trigger warnings. Even though it's so natural to say, I'm feeling suicidal. Just like catching a cold, but we still have to give the warnings to brace for the discomfort for someone else. Even though the signs were there, I tried to tell you. I wrote the poems, painted the paintings, posted the words, penned the articles, joined the walks, promoted the fundraisers. The signs were clear. I was fighting. I tried to tell you. I was fighting for my life. But still we give the warnings because my truth might disrupt your peace. When we choose authenticity, when we live, breathe, dream, walk in our story, discomfort follows for the other. Getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, it's a tough conversation, a conversation that you said you'd be open to, did you lie? When you said that you'd be there, did you lie? When you said that I could call you anytime, did you lie? Don't do that. Don't say what you do not mean. Don't offer empty promises. You talk what brings you peace, not what might bring you pain. But you heard me. You read my words. You see me. It was too hard. Just a little too much effort, to look it up. Do a little research on your own. To learn, to understand, to grow as I grow. I wasn't worth it. I wasn't worth the Google search or a chat with AI. Not worth your time or energy to even try. You did not love me enough. I wasn't enough. I didn't matter enough. You didn't see the signs that I could see. How every day I wake up seeing the image of myself hanging from the ceiling fan. How every night I stare at the fan with the same image in my mind. How there isn't a day I don't flinch, wondering what more reasons God will give me to call it quits. How I'm afraid to reach out to anyone, knowing that I'll be othered, shamed, blamed, or be another painful reminder that I have to fight this alone, that I'm in fact so utterly alone. It is true how much society shames struggle. Until we reach success, either we succeed in life or succeed at the attempt to end it. Succeed in being somebody or succeed in becoming a nobody. You embrace that part, only that part, success, nothing in between, just for a brief moment, because the moment the truth is known, I'm discarded, thrown aside, for coloring outside the line, for letting it slip, for saying what's too natural. I'm feeling suicidal. Then it's over. And I'm supposed to forgive you for calling the police to silence me, instead of calling me to listen, to give my voice a chance. I shouldn't have tried. I tried to tell you. I shouldn't have tried. Is it too late for me now? If I have to be the Qurbani ka Bakara, the sacrificial goat, then let this be my martyrdom. It may be too late for me, but please go. Go save the others. Thank you so much. Please support suicide prevention. To return to power, to Palestine, to Lebanon, to Sudan, to Yemen, to Afghanistan, and no doctor. Thank you so much. For American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, www.afsp.com. You can look me up. My name is Elsa Khwaja. Thank you.